Good morning. For today's lesson, we are going to look at the functions of the features of a web browser. Last week, Monday, we were able to know some of these features of a web browser. We mentioned a lot of the features or the elements of a web browser. For today, we'll be looking at the uses or the functions of these features or elements of the web browser in general. So at the end of this lesson, you should be able to describe the features of a web browser and state their uses, or you should be familiar with their uses. We all know what a web browser is from our previous lesson. We said a web browser is any application software that helps a user to retrieve information from the internet. And we said it's the main application that is used by computer users to access the internet. We made mention of some of the features of a web browser. We mentioned the title bar, the navigation button, that is the back and the forward button. We mentioned the home button. We mentioned the favorite, the URL box or the address box. We also made mention of the search box. And we said these are some of the features or the elements that can be seen in the web browser when the browser is open or launched. When we talk of the features of a web browser, we are referring to the elements or the things that we can see in the web browser window when the web browser application is launched on the computer. So any command or button that you see in the web browser window is what we refer to as the features or the elements of that particular web browser. So this is what we mentioned last week. We made mention of most of these commands or elements. So on our screen, we can see the navigation buttons. We have the forward and the back. We also have the refresh button, as we can see over here. We also have the stop or the cancel button. We have the home button at this side. Then we have this box to be the address box or the URL box. We also have the search box over here or the web search. We have the bookmark, then we have the tabbed browser. So these are the features we have in Mozilla Firefox web browser window. Now let's have a look at how these features or elements work within a web browser. How they work within the web browser. So the first one, we look at the title bar. The title bar displays the name of the web browser, and it also contains the control box, which is used to minimize, maximize, and close the web browser window. So as we all know, the title bar is always the first bar that can be seen on top of most windows that are being opened or windows that are being used on a computer desktop. So most application windows have this type of bar, which is known as the title bar. The main purpose of this bar is to display the name of the application that has been opened, and it also contains the control box. So for web browsers, they also have title bars, and this title bar displays the name of the web browser, and it also contains the control box or the Windows tools. When we talk about the control box, we are referring to the three buttons that can be seen at the right top corner of the title bar, and these buttons are the minimize, maximize, close, and at times you may even see restore over there. So this is what we refer to as the control box or the Windows tool. At the next one, we have the URL box or the address box. So as we can see, the full meaning of URL is Uniform Resource Locator. Uniform Resource Locator. Let's have a look at the function. The Uniform Resource Locator or the address box is a box where website address, you have to take note of this, website address is typed in order to display the content of a website. So the main purpose of this box is for the user to type in a website address in order to display the content of that website or to search for information using that website. So at this box, we don't type in keywords. Keywords are not being typed in this box, but rather we type in website address. An example is www.belischool.com. So www.belischool.com becomes a website address. So assuming you want to search for information using the Belite website address, then it means that you have to type in that address in the Uniform Resource Locator box or the address box. Now the next one, we have the search box. The search box also looks similar to that of the Uniform Resource Locator box, but for this box, only keywords are being typed in whenever you want to search for an information. So the search box is not used for typing website address, but rather to type in keywords on what a user wants to search for within the browser. So the search box is a box in a web browser where keywords are typed in order to search for information. The next one, we have the forward button. The forward button. This is an example of the navigation buttons. So the forward button is used to visit or open a web page that was already visited before the back button was clicked. So whenever you visit a web page and you click on the back button, if you want to view the page you left after clicking on the back button, that means that you have to click on the forward button to go to that page again. Now we have the next navigation button, which is the back button. The back button is used to move back to the previous web page that a user viewed most recently. The back is used to move back to the previous web page that a user viewed most recently. So assuming you clicked on a hyperlink within a web page and it moves the user to a different web page. If you want to come back to the page you left, that's the previous page, that means that you have to use this navigation button, which is the back button. So when it's being clicked, it takes the user to the previous viewed page that the user left, either by clicking on the forward or by clicking on a hyperlink. And the next one, we have the refresh or the reload. The refresh or the reload. So the refresh or the reload button is used to get updates of information on a web page. This command is not used to refresh or reload a page, but rather to get updates of information on a web page. The next one, we have the stop button. So as the name appears, the stop button is used to cancel or stop an ongoing search or a loading web page. So whenever you type in a web page, in the process of the browser loading the content of that web page, if you want to cancel or stop the ongoing search, then you have to use the stop button. So when this button is being clicked, whatever is being searched for or whatever is loading will be cancelled. Now the next one, we have favorite. So the favorite is also a feature in the web browser that allows users to save locations to their favorite internet locations. What it means is that with this feature, you can save websites or web pages that you see important to you. So whenever you visit a website or a web page, and you see that the information over there is very important to you, you can also use a favorite to save that web page or website as an important location or web page on your browser, so that in case you want to visit the same page, you just click on the favorite button and search for saved websites or web pages, which you can just click on it to visit the same page again. The next one, we have the menu bar. We have a menu bar, and this is a bar at the top of the web browser that is used to access various menus. We are saying it's at the top, but it's below the title bar, and its main function is that it is used to access various menus. Now the next one, we have the home button. The home button. The home button is also used to move to the home page of the browser when it is launched. When you talk of a home page, or when you talk about a home page, we are referring to the page that appeared when the web browser was open. So whenever you open a web browser, the first page that comes or displays in the web browser window is what we call the home page. Okay, so that's what the home page is. Now we will end our lesson here and continue next week, Monday. But before you leave, make sure you do your exercises and submit them to your website. Now let's have a look at your assignment. We have only one question here, and the first question says that state 5 features of a web browser and state their uses. So here you have to write or list 5 of the features we mentioned in our lesson. Then you write their uses. I think you write them and write the uses for each of them. We will end here and continue next week, Monday. Thank you and stay safe. Bye.